Listen, don't rush God. Let God take his time. Why? Because when God takes his time, that means he's about to do something spectacular in your life, something miraculous in your life, something so big that it is going to indeed glorify God. The thing is, we are always trying to rush God. Today in prayer, God said, things are not as urgent as you think they are. And when God said that to me, he brought to me Mary and Martha. Concerning who? Their brother Lazarus. They saw that their brother Lazarus was sick, real sick. Real sick. And so they said, send forth the word to Jesus, his friend, to let him know that Lazarus is sick. But what happened when the word got to Jesus? It said that Jesus stayed where he was for 2 more days. That means what? He was taking his time. Why? Because God sees stuff that we don't see. God knows and sees the outcome when we don't know the outcome. Even though he's told us that we are victorious, we'll still look at the situation like Mary and Martha and think this is something urgent. Listen, God ain't gonna show up when he say that ain't nothing to me. I got that. I ain't gotta rush. That ain't nothing. That's what happened. And when Jesus got to where Mary and Martha was, he said, this sickness is not unto death. It's not unto death. Can I tell y'all something? A lot of times when what looks like it's dead, it's really not dead. It's not. See, Mary and Martha was weeping and crying, and they were saying, Jesus, if you had been here, then our brother would not have died. But this is the thing that Jesus knows. This is the thing that our Father knows about us. That in order for him, oh my God, calm down. Okay, listen, y'all. When God's talking to me, I hear it before I say it, so I get super excited. Sometimes I be about to cry. I get excited. Okay, listen. When God is about to call your name, before he calls your name, there's some things in you, about you, around you have to die. Oh, that's good. That's so good. The only time when God decides to call your name to tell you to come forth, there are some things in you that have to die. So if God comes too soon, you won't be dead to the things that are holding you back. Listen. Oh, that's so good, y'all. Oh, Holy Ghost, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So when you try to rush God, that means you're rushing. You're rushing the process, which means what? What is supposed to be in your life, you will hinder it from coming forth because you rushed the thing. Let God take his time. Because God said this sickness is not unto death. What's ailing you got to die. It's got to die before God called you forth. And what happened? When Jesus got there, he called Lazarus' name. He said, Lazarus, come forth. What happened? Lazarus got up. And then after that, God, listen, this is what happens. God does not just call your name. He also calls your name and then tell everything that looked like a residue of that death to leave. Because he said, now take the bondages from around him. Which means what? You're going to be unrecognizable. Those things that people knew you as, they're going to say, oh, they different. Oh, that ain't the same one. It's the same person, but they ain't really the same. Oh, they ain't changed. That's what they're going to start saying about you. Oh, they ain't changed. They're a whole new person. They all brand new. And they right. Because there are certain things, like I told you, in you, around you, about you, that's got to die. And to you, it seems as if it is unto death. But God said that is ailing you is not unto death. As he said about Lazarus, this sickness is not unto death. In other words, he said, this ain't gonna kill Lazarus, but it got to go. The things that had him held down, bound, they had to die. And that's what God is saying to us. Some of us are in a frantic. We're in a panic. We're frustrated because we're saying, God, this thing is urgent. I need you to come right now. I need you to come now, God. You said you're right now, God, and God is sitting there looking like, really? This thing ain't gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you. I'm gonna give it a couple more days. I'm going to give it a couple of more months. I'm going to give it a couple more years. The thing is, do you trust God? And not only do you trust God, do you trust God's timing? So with that being said, don't rush God. Let God take his time. Because if you let God take his time, and when he reaches you at his timing, just like with Lazarus, he's going to call you to come forth. And when he calls you to come forth, it shall be a miracle. It shall be a miracle. And it'll be to glorify God. Everybody in your circle, your family members, your friends, co-workers, they'll be able to look at you and say, that wasn't nobody but who? But God. Nobody but God. Nobody